Oh no, the top of my head's gone. Let's do that. That's good. I'd have to adjust the camera more than just tweaking a little bit. I've gained a little bit of weight in the last 2 weeks. Not been doing that much exercise. Hello, I'm BoredGamer. Gained 4 kilograms in the last 2 weeks. But that's partly because my house is in a mess. Because I'm moving out. And tomorrow I'm going to be in my new place. So hopefully that will be good. And then we can live a life of bettering ourselves. Myself. I want to hide the baldness. This is why I cut off the top of my head like that. Yes, that's correct. You ate the poets, mate. Hope you're doing well. I love your tech stuff. Hope you had a good time in Taipei. That's a little while ago now, but... Are you moving into Star Citizen? No, unfortunately, Star Citizen is not finished yet. It's not ready to be moved into. So I had to buy a stupid house rather than spending that money on spaceships. But don't you worry. Yeah, glad you had fun. It looked awesome. I hope... yeah, hope you had a great time. Are you coming to CitizenCon? It'd be great to see you. Actually meet you rather than just tweet at you. But I hope everyone's doing all right. So, I mean, don't spend money on spaceships. Get a starter package. Maybe buy one spaceship that you love, and then just get everything else in game. Enjoy playing the game to get it. So no, we're talking about this. We're talking about gold sellers. And Zin's like, who would ever want to buy like Alpha UEC or UEC for Star Citizen? And I was like, well, some people want, you know, they've got money, but they ain't got time, and they'll pay someone to get some money real quick. And some people are whales, and they've got lots of money, which is very much in the opinion, well, you're not enjoying the game then if you're having to buy the money. Just power through it. Enjoy the game. Grind up the stuff. So yeah, we talk about that in today's podcast. You'll see it. You'll see it if you watch it. It'll be released a little bit later. If you'd like to ask a question during the stream, question in brackets. I will try and read everything. I'm bad at reading. So just bear that in mind. Hope everyone's doing well. Thank you very much for the comments. Genuinely appreciated. I'm not sure how long I'll stream for. I'm pretty tired, and I need to pack up this computer that is in front of me, which won't take me too long. But there's lots of other little bits that I'll be running around going and checking. Yeah, so some of the stuff I want to talk about today will be stuff like the account bans, account suspensions, 3.17, 3.23.1a, and XenoThreat. Because obviously, some people, great time with XenoThreat. Some people, terrible time with XenoThreat. Some people able to play XenoThreat, and it's like quite laggy, but playable. It's a mixed bag at the moment, which is better than almost entirely being broken, which it has been previously. So a lot of people like master modes. You say you love master modes. Some people love it. Some people hate it. Some people are indifferent. I'm very much in the camp of I see what CIG are trying to do. They're trying to make a good flight model. They're not there yet. They need a lot of balance, and it's not just master modes. It's all the gunnery changes and all of that together, right? And we just sort of group it into master modes. It's a mystery how you find the time and energy to stream more moving house. Well, so I very motivated to do stuff. I'm a little bit manic depressive, or is it bipolar disorder? It's known as now. So if I'm focused on work, I'm not sad. I'm not depressed. I'm pretty stable. I don't get this sort of high end of mania. Sometimes do, but I'm pretty good at maintaining as long as I'm busy, as long as I'm working, as long as I'm doing something. So during I need to rest as a bit of a break from moving stuff around and getting ready for that. I can rest my mind by just doing something a bit different. So I want to stream, and so I worry less that if I don't get a video out tomorrow, it's not a big deal. But I'll still be trying to get a video out tomorrow. I'll be in the new place without a desk, or maybe I've just set up a desk really badly, and I'll be manically trying to get a video out. Oh, that'll be enjoyable. I say that sarcastically, but I don't. I don't mean it sarcastically, because I will enjoy that. I'll be like, yes, I've achieved something. I actually have an operational business from my new address. And then I've got loads of contractors coming in and sorting stuff out. Yeah, so those 600 plus people, I say 600 because there's loads of people that exploited the exploits and the dupes and stuff bug. But 600 to 700 people got punished with a 3-month suspension, which is, I think, pretty reasonable for severe and active exploiting. And some of those people may have been gold sellers and stuff like that. I'm assuming the future CIG will ban gold sellers. I think they're probably relatively soft on the sort of grey market and black market. They'll push some stuff into the black market and go, this is bannable, potentially gold selling because they want to sell their own stuff. Ship sales, I think they're going to be pretty reasonable on and go, look, because people will give ships more value in their heads if they are sort of tradable still. So yeah, 3-month suspension for people that were doing the Alpha UEC dupe and the duping bug to get loads of Alpha UEC. That's from what I read, from what I saw, that's accurate. It might be different for different people. Did you hire movers? Yes. I don't drive. Thank you very much. Alosha City becoming a member. Appreciate it. Thank you very much. I appreciate you becoming a YouTube member. Genuinely appreciate it. No free testing for 3 months. Yes, so I hired a moving van and a dude to help me move. I haven't got much in the way of furniture or anything. It's just like computer and more board games than you can imagine. Actually, it depends on how big imagination is. I've got quite a lot of board games. I did have to say, it's only me, and I haven't got any furniture really, but I do have more board games than you would expect in a house of like 3 people, sort of taking up furniture-wise. So, yeah, hopefully. So, from my point of view, gold sellers in games set bad practice. They can be pretty scummy because they treat that. They will look for exploits. They will look for stuff to generate UEC to make money from. Yeah, I think it just sets a bad precedent, bad practice in game. So originally, the channel was called BoredGamer because originally I wanted to do a mixture of PC games and board games, combine them two into a channel, and then I just I did some Diablo 3 stuff, did some Titanfall stuff, which was especially the Diablo 3 stuff was pretty successful. And then moved into Star Citizen. And went, I like Star Citizen. I want to talk about it. And no one's really doing the content I want. Now we have lots of people doing quite similar content to me. And I feel like I'm the forefather of the current content movement. Although some people might hate the current way that Star Citizen content's done. But this is the sort of the news content and constant updates is sort of what I like. And speaking of furniture, do you think there will be furniture and stores and kiosks in 3.22? Sorry, 3.23.2? Potentially. So we know that there is going to be customizable items, items that we can use for customization, should I say, for our personal persistent hangers. Obviously, there's a lot of flair and stuff that we might just be able to place that we'd previously bought or got somehow, like the Big Benny's machine and stuff like that. Definitely will be furniture and item stores in the future for the purposes of making your hanger and your base, sort of adding items and stuff to them, furniture. Potentially in 3.23.2. Potentially. You're running D&D tomorrow. Oh, that's awesome. Oh, I think I saw a tweet about it. Someone. Although I might have just been getting mixed up. I know disco and stuff. Run D&D. I hope your game goes well. Awesome. What are you running? I'm the same as long as I'm too busy. Okay. I see what you're saying. Anywhere that you recommend visiting in the UK for CitizenCon? Are you going to do some tourism as well? And it depends what you're into. There's loads of cool military museums around that are genuinely great. We've got some great natural history museums and stuff like that. So there's a load of cool stuff to do in London. There's loads of cool stuff to do around Manchester, Leeds, and all up north. It depends on where exactly you want to go. I'm very much a restaurateur. I've been a fan of Asmongold for years. I knew everything he would ask, and if I was honest and truthful, he'd be fair to me. Yeah, I'm glad you enjoyed that sketch therapy, mate. Like, it was interesting to see you be talking to Asmongold. How did that happen? Did he turn up on his stream? What did he ask you previously? I like the fact he bought a copy of the game. Yes, I absolutely love my feel. It is shock horror. Can't believe how much weight I've gained in the last 2 weeks. And I can, because I literally looked at the scales and went, huh. I first thought, nah, they must be broken. I've been losing weight. Although, not over the last couple of weeks, I haven't. Made 4 kilograms very quickly. And when do you think the 600i rework will be finished? So, I think it might be something they try and get in for the end of the year. But I'm not sure. They haven't been talking about it much recently. I believe Asmongold, I believe he bought the game, yeah. I believe he bought a starter pack. Will they ever fix old missions? Yes. Being sent to jail too many times for doing claim trouble. Is that not fixed? It's either going to be fixed in 3.23.2, they said, because there's loads of stuff they did they said they were doing crime to fix stuff like that. Or I thought, for some reason, I thought it was fixed in the latest A patch. If you have time to spend making money, that might be your opinion. But if you only have a few hours a day to play, grinding out UEC, or UEC is a huge pain. Buying UEC gives people play time back. That is true. And that is why CIG are going to be selling UEC, their own currency. So, again, I was talking to Zina about this. I don't like gold sellers. I'm fine with CIG doing it because they're in control of it. But it's the sort of bad practice that gold sellers do in games that I don't like. And they try and often this goes on hand in hand with trying to access accounts and then spamming gold cells with those accounts, and trying to access people's accounts and sell their items, stuff like that. Not always, but often. Is the thruster overheating feature supposed to come with resource network stuff or a different patch? Don't know exactly what's included with a 4.0 and the network, the engineering feature when it comes to thruster overheating. So you're basically saying, because it's effectively the expansion of misfires, as it's misfires and all that sort of stuff. Might be coming with 4.0. It's certainly coming relatively soon after 4.0. Because basically, stuff that's damaged or can misfire and that sort of stuff. Done XenoThreat 3 times and didn't get the reward. What reward are you talking about? You're talking about the armor reward. So the armor reward's only giving out to people that completed the first 5 phases as well, so just be aware of that. Just complete the first 5 phases and the rest of XenoThreat. All of it. We don't know when 3.23.2 is going to be live. It should be going to Eva Carty imminently. I was expecting it for a little while ago. Yes, the move is under control. I don't know if it's going well or not. I've had so many phone calls from people. So obviously my number has been, I don't know. I've got contractors coming to do a load of stuff. My number's got out there, and I just keep on getting calls. A little annoying. Polaris bottom turrets buff was mentioned on one of the dev videos. What's your thought on that? So they've basically said they want the Polaris to not just be a torpedo corvette. What I mean by that is if it's launched all its torpedoes or can't fire its torpedoes against its target, it's still going to be a strong powerhouse in terms of a capital brawler. It is going to be able to fight. It's going to be able to be a proper ship of war, even without its torpedoes. I'm not sure exactly what that will expand out into, but obviously it's going to be turret improvements and weapon improvements on the ship. So I like the idea. I think exactly what it needs. You want capital ships to be, powerful, capitally. Traveler Map, thank you so much for that donation. Very much appreciated, especially during this time when I'm sort of panicked for money and everything. Just moving houses is scary. I'm buying a house. Will you build a streaming room at the new Bored HQ? Build vids, stream painting figurines behind the scenes, give more content. Some stuff, yes. It's going to be based on, I'll get into the property and see what I can do there. I'm not sure if I'm going to make one room into a studio or just divide a room into a VR room and studio, something like that. That's probably what I'm going to do. Yeah. Not 100% sure. But I do want to start doing more content, whether it be cooking stuff or board games or war games. Obviously, I paint and I'm not awful at painting. I'm not great, but I'm not awful. Thank you very much, Jenny. I appreciate it. And yes, there'll be more content. I'll take some photos of the house and stuff, and you can see it evolve. When do you think the Polaris will be flyable? It's supposed to be flyable for later this year. Intergalactic Aerospace Expo, I believe they want it flyable for. Don't know where water is. I'll go find some in a minute. What does Evocadi actually mean? So Evocadi are basically NDA, non-disclosure agreemented Star Citizen backers that have been handpicked by CIG to test super early builds. And they're not allowed to share visuals of that build. And originally they weren't allowed to talk about those builds, but they are now allowed to talk about those builds and that sort of stuff, but they're still not allowed to share media from their builds. They get super early builds that are not ready for prime time, not ready for people to see, even in the sort of test phase. It'll be like extreme stress testing or trying to track down a horrible bug, or this is a really rough build of something that's new. Let's see if there's any terrible bugs. Oh, so you're going to get ships to gold standard by 4.0. So that's a really good question, because obviously loads of ships, well, all the ships need to be changed for engineering. I would expect that not all of them will be fully changed for engineering, but we'll have to wait and see. I hope the house goes up in value. I hope it doesn't go down in value. I want people to be able to buy houses, though. What else have we got? Oh, I've not seen in dire need, Forgotten Realms. Okay, cool. Are you surprised by CIG's statement that they'll skip beta and go directly to release? Am I wrong? They said that, right? I didn't hear them say that exactly. They might have. But we now know that the next major milestone after 4.0 is 1.0. So 4.0, Alpha 4.0, and then they want a commercial release. Now, expect 4.x patches, 4.1, 4.2, that sort of stuff, on the way to that. But they're looking at a minimum viable product. They're going to be sharing what that looks like in the not too distant future on the roadmap. Yeah, a lot of people are really looking forward to the cargo updates with 0.2 and to actually have a customizable space with their hangar. Remember, it's only your home hangar. Only your original hangar that you spawned at. In your spawn location. First spawn location. You know what I mean. this year. Yep, the plan is to have it roughly by the end of summer, by the end of Q3. So I think 600i, they could have it done by the end of the year if they're working on it now. But it's really hard to know exactly what they're working on at the moment. Because some of the ships, they do sort of like obscure the, and surprise, we were working on the battle match all along, or something like that. I mean, it's possible. So they're jumping to release straight after 4.x. After, yeah. I mean, 4.x could go on for a year or two, right? But the next major milestone after 4.0 is what 1.0. We get our hangar with every ship we pledge for. Does that mean we will have as many physical hangars in game? So, with the persistent hangars coming with 3.2, 3.2, you just get a hangar with the largest ship you own being the size of that hangar. That will go. You got this ship, the largest ship you have, bam, that sets the size of your hangar. Sorry, I said that really badly. But the largest ship you own will set the size of your hangar. And then you can call up the ships in the elevator there. Some ships need to be called by, like capital ships, will need to be called by docking army boy, docking collar. I'm not entirely sure how that will work. I might say the maximum size your personal hangar can be is this. That means as long as you've got a ship of at least this size, you get it. Yeah, what size? Well, so the hull C will fit in a hangar when it's compressed down. It's the largest ship you own that is currently available in game will set the size of your personal hangar. That's more specific. So it has to be a flyable ship. And it will be at the location you have as your original spawn for your character. And that will be your persistent, customizable personal hangar. And you'll be able to call ships up at a kiosk there from the floor. It will literally come up from the floor and go back down into the floor. It's really cool. And it'll be the cargo elevators there, the freight elevators. Now, if you go to a different hangar, so you go to a different planet and use the hangar there, it'll be sort of like it is at the moment. What manufacturer of big ships would you like to see after RSI? Aegis. Just because I want the Javelin and Idris. I suppose Drake. I want the Kraken. There's loads, but yeah. Do you think personal hangars will make it into 3.2, 3.2? Yes. That is, the patch is focusing on cargo. It's not 100%, but very likely. It's focusing on cargo. It's focusing on personal persistent hangars. It's focusing on the freight elevators and cargo missions. Will there be more Tavaran concept ships? Probably in the future, yes. I would expect that. And probably some vehicles as well. Have you thought about writing a fiction story set in the Star Citizen universe? I don't know. No, I haven't. But I'm not sure how creative I am. What if all the hangars are occupied? Will you have to wait to go to your home or even leave the planet? All hangars can't be occupied because they're instantized. So your hangar will be instantized hangar. Now, I suppose if it's instantized, there still needs to be a place that you leave from, which could they all be blocked or busy? Potentially. I'm not sure how that will be done. Ramos, thank you very much. Zin live streams when? I will get her on some of the live streams. Move house. Oh, pardon me. I'm a bit tired. We'll try and get Zin on some streams. She originally, when I hired her, I got her on a couple of streams, but she one of them is that she just sort of sat there and just sort of listened to me because I talk a lot. The podcast works pretty well. If you purchase a small ship and then CCU'd to a larger ship, will you keep the small ship hangar or will CIG give you the large hangar? So, in 3.20, 3.2, it's whatever ship you have at the time. So if you'd already upgraded the ship to the larger ship, you'll get the larger ship hangar. In the future, I don't know how it's going to be handled. So, interestingly, I would expect you to get the hangar based on the ships that you own, not the hangars it says that you own. See what I mean? Because you could potentially have really small hangar, part of a game package, upgrade the hull of a ship, and not upgrade the hangar that it's in. Not sure how they're going to handle the separately purchased hangars and separately listed hangars. I'm not sure if they know either. Don't know if you've mentioned it, but base building, when do you think it'll be released? Before 4.0 or not? So not before 4.0. Potentially you'll have some very limited base building type gameplay by the end of the year. Whether that's like land claims or building some basic structures by like hand or with survey tools or something like that. Don't know. But something basic. If we get anything at all this year. But they did plan to have some base building gameplay in. Do you think they'll finally give us access to reclaim our paid for armor? Yes, so not for 3.2, 3.2. There are item banks that may this might be tied to in the future. So potentially for 4.0, you'll have an item retrieval service, potentially, but soon. CIG wants Drake to be next to go with Pyro and Pirates. Yeah, that makes sense as well. That's not in my notes, but it's almost certain they've said that, and I've just ignored it for some reason. But yes, I'm pro Drake for next big ships after RSI ships. If I upgrade my starter Mustang to a tank, have no other ships but buy a big one in game, will I still have a personal hangar for the bigger ship? So, if you may have to buy the hangar in game to get the bigger hangar, depends on the series of events that led you to that. So if you have a big ship and there's not a wipe, and CIG go and we're selling your hangars based on this, then it'll be based on the ship that you have flyable in game, even if you bought it in game at the time, I believe. Bounty Hunter version 2 when? Good question. They have been setting themselves up for Bounty Hunting version 2. I potentially think we could see it by the end of the year. Or at least the start of more updates to Bounty Hunting. Do you think personal hangars will be fully customizable or snap to grid kind of thing? I think they're going to be, at this stage, they're just persistent effectively. So you have access to a load of items that you can just leave there. You can spawn up your Big Benny's noodle machine on the freight elevator and literally just leave it in your hangar, and it's there when you come back. Pretty freeform. Track the beam. Not snap to fit. It could be gridded. It could be gridded. Don't think it will be. Hello, hello. CIG has to figure out a way of making item recovery dupe-proof. So I believe they want to have every item in the game having unique ID. My beard clip's outside my helmet. I hate it. Anyone see CIG comment on clipping issues? They will solve that. I mean, they like pretty stuff. I have not had them comment on it, though. What's the airspeed velocity of an unladen swallow? I have not seen Holy Grail in ages. Why are people excited for cargo? Because they like cargo gameplay. It's sort of intrinsic to all other types of gameplay. Because when you're earning money, whatever you're sort of doing, it's motivated or at least connected to the movement of cargo in some way. Whether that's piracy, sort of generate pirate missions for attacking cargo, generate missions for going after pirates, increasing the wealth of an area, buying your components for your ships, whatever. That's sort of connected to that. It seems like it adds a ton of tedium without adding any opportunity for emergent gameplay because the hangars are instanced. What's the upside? Just the general, people like to have the management of cargo. So it gives you the cargo management feature basically, and it then allows you to have manual loading and unloading, which for some people is going to be tedious. You will be able to in the future pay to have that done sort of automated facility-wise. But that additional time and the ability to do it yourself sort of helps fill out the cargo gameplay loop. And some people are going to love that. Some people are going to love the management of that and sort of the stacking. Some people are going to hate it. What will happen with the rented ships? Will the hangar be updated? Don't know what you mean. With rented ships, you'll be able to summon them. Your rented ship is not going to affect the size of the hangar you're given. I mean, if you're spawning it... Okay, say you get given your hangar in the patch, and then you buy a bigger ship later in the patch. Your hangar will not increase in size. But when you try and summon that ship, you'll go to a non-personal hangar. You're not a persistent personal hangar. You'll go to a normal hangar like you would now. Even if it's at your home landing zone. Some people like snagging boxes. Some people like the management of that. Some people like the manual loading, unloading. It is adding more to the cargo gameplay loop. Would it be more likely the size of your hangar is determined by the largest ship in store purchase ship, not the largest in-game purchase ship? I believe it's whatever the largest... Your hangar for 3.23.2 specifically, I believe, will be whatever largest ship that you currently have flyable in-game. There might be a wipe. They might change, but I believe that's going to happen, whether you've bought it in-game or with real money. But not 100% on that. Anvil... Hull A versus Raft for dedicated cargo hauling. Raft. Both have amazing range. I really like the Raft. I think it's going to be able to deal with those 32 SU cargo containers really well. Do you think we're getting cargo PTU this week? Yeah, I can... Either Cardi patch. Either Carty this week, yes. I think so. If I ever a coma, I'll have a huge hangar. Yes. Seeming yes. So, if you're at, so you'll just go into your big hangar where you haven't got your reclaimer. You just go into a big empty hangar. Okay, you've got a reclaimer. You got a big ship. Go into your big hangar at your home location, your persistent hangar. You drop some stuff on the floor. That will stay there. You drop rubbish on the floor. You put your big bedding machine there. That will stay on the floor. You then can go over to the terminal and summon a ship out of the ground. And what will happen is the cargo elevator sort of... This is different from the freight elevators. The little elevator will open up. Your ship will come out. And they'll be there. And that'll be whatever ship. Your big ship, your small ship, whatever. Yeah, I suspect if anyone gets into the elevator with you and tries to get into your personal hangar that's not in your party and doesn't have access, it will give them a warning, then give them a criminal rating or fine and kick them out of it. So, people don't know, new buyback tokens being allocated soon. Monday, 8th of July. Thank you very much, J-Bird. Very much appreciated. Basic buyback token allows you to buy back a ship that you've previously melted in the RSI store with store credit. Will furniture be purchasable with the release of personal hangars? At some point, yes. Potentially with the release of them in 3.0, 3.2. They've implied that may be the case. But they haven't explicitly said, yes, furniture, we've got furniture shops, or there's loading new furniture. Do you think there will be a big problem with people overloading hangars to make service lag? No, because as soon as you leave that hangar, it's persistent, kind of, because it's instanced. So they'll just, as soon as you leave, it'll be loaded out, streamed out. The instance is persistence. So the stuff that you've left in the instance is persistent. Does the cargo gameplay also affect things like buying cargo outposts? It will eventually. I'm not sure exactly what it's going to be tied into 3.20, 3.2. There's going to be cargo missions as well. 23.2 hauling missions. No mention of a criminal warning, just you'll be kicked out. That's my expectation, criminal warning. I think CIG will start making different hangar styles with looks, etc., and sell them. Hope they do that just in game if they do. Potentially. I do think you're going to have quite a lot of customization with your hangar. It's going to be your rented space. So yeah, Hunter May, thank you very much for that donation. That's genuinely appreciated. I expect you're going to have a lot of customization with hangars. I do think they're going to appreciate what they'd previously done. Bear with me 1 second. I am going to go grab my water, wherever it may be. I've lost it. Thank you very much for the donations and the subs from people. Genuinely appreciated. Bear with me 1 second. Hi. Yeah, Chris looks a bit different now in real life, doesn't he? Like, this isn't real life. This is Chris from a while ago. Young Chris. And once we get 1.0, do you think we need to make a choice what our fleet will be, or we'll have access to our melted ships and CC? That's a really good question. So I think originally they'd said that they sort of wanted you to have decided your upgrades and that sort of stuff before 1.0 live had come out. That might change. They'll make a statement on that. Captain Facepalm, bored. Won't be interacting much with hangars on the first iteration. I just have one ship, and getting a better one is one of the first things I do after a wipe. If the hangar won't fit, then I'll have no reason to interact with it. That is fair. Maybe they will upgrade the sizes. Maybe you can buy a new one with 3.0, 3.2, but I doubt it. I see what you mean, though. Oh, what if someone waited outside? Well, and there might not be a wipe with 3.0, 3.2. So you might be able to just use your chips that you have now if you bought some in-game. What if someone waited outside of your hangars at New Burbage and snuck in the door as you flew out? So I believe you're going to be kicked out of the hangar. You're in a lawful zone, a monitored lawful zone. They know you're there. I see that. Appreciate it. Thank you very much for the kind words. Do oxycolors damage doors enough to open them? I believe so. I believe doing damage to the doors will open them eventually, whatever. Do you think CIG will rethink Death of a Spaceman? It would certainly evolve. I mean, has to, right? They're constantly rethinking everything. Well, no, that's a little bit over exaggerated, but it really seems like a silly concept since your items are passed on to next of kin. So they want a system that means that you are shows off when you're injured or you've had a close call, so your captor will get scars and stuff like that. Effectively, they want people to be aware of the mortality and play with that in mind. They don't want people to do stupid stuff unless they risk that the reward's there, right? So expect Death of the Spaceman to evolve a little. 3.20, 3.2 is not an EVA card as far as I'm aware yet. No. It could be today, though. Or at least later this week. I didn't see... Well, I haven't recently seen people in a panic about bed logging. I know people were talking about how's it going to work. It's important we know how it works for when we log back in and on someone's ship and they're not there. I'll always call you Mr. Sparrow just to avoid saying it wrong. Over the many, many years. So XenoThreat's functional. So sometimes you can have a great playthrough of XenoThreat. Sometimes it will be super laggy. Obviously, PvPs are a problem as well for that. It isn't unreasonable to think my character's DNA would break down after a number of clonings. The question is, what is that number? So, well, why not just use the original DNA strain? I suppose it's your mind effectively being transferred that's breaking down. That's the way I see it. Well, I'll be back down here regularly. What else we got? That's Captain Sparrow to you. Your preferred daily driver? I love the C1 and the Cutlass Black. I love my F8. My favourite ship's the Macri Star Runner. I sort of use them, all of those reasonable amounts. Cutlass Red as well. Any news on how manual loading will work with the Hull C next patch? I believe it's handled exactly the same way as it is now. So no manual loading. You'll fly to the auto loading, unloading place. I believe for 3.23.2. Thank you very much. Ziozet, please buff. Thank you very much for that sub. Good. Why don't CIG write law that solidly explains the mind transfer and its effects? Because they haven't fully decided on it yet. Since Chris Roberts wants PvP in Xeno, and Chris Roberts even put a rep meter for Xeno, are people overreacting or blind to the intended PvP in XenoThreat? So, I think what it is that XenoThreat is largely more of a PvE feel, right? And originally it was supposed to be pretty PvE. Just PvP can occur, so will occur sometimes. And Star Citizen does not support PvP and PvE properly yet. because it needs expanded gameplay zones. It needs proper lore system in those zones. It needs Death of a Spaceman. It needs more secure areas than less secure areas. At the moment, it's sort of fruit flying it with quite a small ecosystem, trying loads of different stuff. I haven't testing the engineering yet. Fun to play. It's very basic at the moment. It's cool. You could argue that anything in Star Citizen is a chore to people that don't find it fun, though, right? Yeah, there's no reason to be aligned with XenoThreat at the moment, other than you want to experience some PvP gameplay. There needs to be more things for people to do in PvP. There needs to be disincentives for them to go to PvP in areas that are more PvE, things like that. I haven't. That's what I just talked about. I'd love a flamethrower. Yeah, so obviously some of the stuff you can do is you're a cargo game player and you're doing big, large scale cargo runs. Get some escorts, because you're much more likely to get attacked in PvP. That said, CIG need to do things with getting pulled out of quantum and stuff like that, because it's really hard to quantum snap people. Say it's much more likely to get pulled out. I mean, we're much more likely to get attacked. That's still quite low. I think that people see events like XenoThreat and like, oh, PvPers are in it, because they don't really see PvPers much in the game at all, because it's like 50 to 100 people on a server. They're trying to do PvP, and you're in areas that are just flying around. It's really hard to actually engage someone in PvP. But at XenoThreat, however, when you're in a static location, much more likely to jump in there. I do have it, indeed. I do have a javelin. Not flyable yet. I do have one. Indeed. I got it from referral bonus. Would you use the multi-tool in engineering? Is there a repair attachment? Well, the salvage tool is also a repair tool. But yes, there'll be... and you want to use it as a gravity tool to remove components, put stuff back in. Right. I am going to dash off in a second because I need to finish packing for my house move tomorrow. And maybe record something video-wise now for tomorrow for Zin to edit. Oh, maybe I'll do it just when I get there. I'll work something out. Let's see what happens. See who else is streaming. Bear with me 1 second. I'm going to see who else is streaming, and then we'll wrap up. Who is online? Oh. Who's around? This man. German streamers online at the moment. Daily Noob _D. I've not seen this person before.
Yeah. We got a whole ship dedicated to that for the org.
This man can get some love. Why not, eh? Why not? Join stream. I do. Trade boop. I'm so bad at streaming. Does that work? Did I do it good? Brisbane crowd. Perfect. Thanks so much for watching. Genuinely appreciated. So, I'm expecting 3.20, 3.2 to go to Evocati later this week, but it's going to be a little while before it's out to live. Potentially, you could have it by the end of the month, although I think it's more likely to be early to mid-July now. I'm moving house. Hopefully, going to be a bit weird for a few days. We'll see what happens. Maybe get a studio set up there. I'm going to play it by ear. I've got room for a studio, but I might just divide a room into PC gaming room and just also a studio, but I'll have a bed in it or something. We'll see. We'll work it out. Looking forward to playing some board games. Yeah. Looking forward to seeing the 4.0 cycle, because start to see later on this week eventually stuff from 4.0 turn up, or at least talked about by CIG. Yep, XenoThreat's been cool, although needs to fix the lag and the performance issues, very much so. But lot more playable than it was previously. Yeah, thank you very much for watching. Genuinely appreciate it. You have a great day, and I'll see you soon. There'll be a podcast out in a bit where we talk about the suspended accounts and an actor that's potentially playing Jimmy in Star Citizen being out next year, maybe? Question mark. Anyway, lots of random stuff. Love you loads.